Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cam Jam Experience. James Pacson talking to you with my partner in crime, Cameron Gwynn, right next to me. Cam, how you doing?
What's up, dude?
You know, I had this funny thing happen over the weekend. It's actually really bad, but so you know how I'm naturally loud?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't matter what I do, I'm always extremely loud.
Right.
So I'm at dinner with a couple friends Saturday night, and we're at Mongolian barbecue, and so we go up, get a bowl. You know how Mongolian works.
Right. You grab a bowl and you watch them cook on the circle stove. Yeah.
So then I go and get a second one, and nobody else gets a second one. So I look at my bill, and my bill says 1, and I go, oh, no way. I got 2 bowls, and I only pay for 1.
Yeah.
The waitress from 4 tables down came up to me and said, quiet down. And then I was like, oh, she did that on purpose.
Yeah.
And apparently I said it really loud.
So then the manager was probably like, dude, what's going on?
Yeah. So
good job.
I don't know why.
Dude, I'm so proud of you.
I'm the only one in the world who can make that nice of a gesture by just being that much of a jackass. Like, I don't know why. But I was really excited because I looked right at people. I was like, haha, I only had to pay for 1 bowl. And they're like, hey, why don't you not scream it?
You probably did.
I'm just so...
knowing you probably got so hyped that you pretty much just yelled it. You might as well just walked into the manager's office and been like, hey, I only had to pay for 1 bowl, but I had 2. Haha, sucks to you.
Yeah, that's the equivalent of what I did.
No, I mean, it really is.
It's the equivalent of just walking up to the manager and saying, your waitress is stupid, and she only made me pay for 1 bowl.
I don't know if saying that the waitress is stupid is the right way to go, but, I mean, you're paying for 1 bowl. I usually keep my mouth shut. Like, the other day.
I was excited.
Well, I mean, I would be too, but it happens every once in a while. Like, every once in a while you'll go up to, like, I do this at Tim Hortons all the time. If somebody orders a 10-pack of Timbits, or if they happen to get 12, it's not my fault.
Well, that's because you guys are barely counting.
Well, and I lose track pretty easily, especially in the 40 packs. I pretty much just fill it until it's all the way full. And I've tried it one time to see how many I can fit in there, and you can fit about 55 in there. So if somebody happens to get 50 Timbits who ordered 40, you're welcome. And give me a good review online, please.
Guy working at Tim Hortons, guy wearing white hat with beard, named Cameron, gave me 57 Timbits, and I only ordered 5. 5 out of 5.
Whoa. I don't do that much. If they order 5, I'll give them 5.
Well, the next time I visit you at Tim Hortons, I better get more than 10. But anyway, this is the Experience Podcast. Sports this week will include a big talk on Lionel Messi and the FIFA World Cup. Some big stuff going on with Lionel Messi, some surprising, in my opinion. Cameron's going to leave the discussion on that. And then we're going to go to the quick Pacson pit stop. No kicking it with Cam today since we have a major soccer talk. Then we're going to go to some baseball talk. We got some predictions for the Detroit Tigers. We got some predictions for, I'd say, each division. We'll go about each division since we're all big baseball guys here.
Sounds fair enough.
And at the end, we're going to go with some wacky, crazy baseball predictions. I call them wacky because Cam and I are each going to pick 2 or 3 that are just really out there. Like, when we talk baseball talk, we'll have a very serious MVP guess. Later on in the show, I have an MVP guess that's really going to shock you, but I think it's going to be correct.
All right. Fair enough. One thing I do want to mention before we get into Messi is who do you think is going to win the championship tonight for NCAA and March Madness?
NC, I think's got it. I think North Carolina's going to have an easy game. I mean, our podcast comes out noon this week, so you'll get to find out how wrong I was because I've been really wrong in this March Madness. You haven't been that much right. You've just been a little bit more right
I've been a little more right than you, but the fact that you're saying NC right now really scares me because I need NC to win. But, whatever. If NC doesn't win, then I'm going to just blame it on you.
That's fine.
You messed it up.
I can do that.
Fine. So because we're not having a kicking it with Cam because of the big soccer thing, let's just hop right into this real quick, okay? Messi. Everybody knows him, the Argentinian striker who plays for Barcelona. Amazing player, one of the top in the world. It's come to an issue. He was banned 4 international games for verbally assaulting the ref. And the ref came out and said, I didn't hear anything from anyone outside of the norm, meaning that nothing really happened. Messi threw his arms up and was upset about a play that was called. They called a foul on him. And he was just expressing himself. He didn't shake the ref's hand after. The ref said, okay, I understand that. I made a call that you didn't like. It's fair enough. It happens in almost every game. Everyone gets mad. He, like I said, banned for 4 games, was fined over 10 grand. But there's only really 5 games or 4 more games left for Argentina, and he is going to miss 3 of them.
Yeah, it says here on FIFA.com, the FIFA Disciplinary Committee, in application of Articles 77A and 108 of the FIFA Disciplinary Code, the FDC, has reached a decision in relation to the case of Lionel Messi following an incident that occurred during a match between Argentina and Chile on the 23rd of March 2017 as part of a qualifying competition for the 2018 FIFA World Cup Russia. As a result, Messi will be suspended for 4 official games. Cameron, have you ever seen a soccer player suspended for 4 games for arguing with a ref?
No, and I haven't. And what I saw happen is he gets up, he looks at the ref, he throws his hand up, he probably says something like FUUPOS or something like that, because they say that. It happens in all levels, but I don't think that's 4 games worthy, and the ref even said he didn't say anything out of the norm. So if the ref doesn't think it's out of the norm and he didn't wave his flag saying, hey, look, he said something bad that hurt my feelings, I think it's fine. If the ref has an issue with it, the ref has an issue with it. It shouldn't be the big heads of FIFA coming down on him saying, you can't do that. It's not how it works. If the ref has an issue, the ref has an issue.
Well, and I feel that's fair, but at most this guy should have been suspended 1 game because this isn't his first instant. He's been arguing with refs for most of his career.
Yeah, that's what all stars do, though.
But you agreed with that's what all stars do. But again, talking about how he should have been suspended 1 game at most, that's it. Over here in America, we had Tom Brady be suspended for 4 games for allegedly cheating.
Right.
So he got the same punishment as a guy who cheated in a playoff game to the Super Bowl, to a championship game, to win a championship.
Right.
Messi got the same suspension for yelling at a ref for a minute, which is something, to be fair, that we've seen LeBron James do.
Everyone does
that we've seen Derek Jeter do.
That's what I'm saying.
That we've seen Verlander will go at the ump at times. So this is very confusing to me. I don't know why Messi got suspended for this long. And frankly, if you look at what games they have, they're basically going to be out of the World Cup most likely.
I mean, from what I'm seeing between the 3 teams that are fighting for that 4th spot, because the way for South America that it works is the top 4 teams at the end of their World Cup qualifiers go on. Right now, Argentina's sitting in 5th place. They have 22 points just behind Chile, who has 23. But Chile's goal differential is +5, where Argentina's is +1, meaning that they've scored only 1 more goal than their opponents have scored on them. That's an issue. But another team to look out for is Ecuador. They play against Peru, Chile, and their last game is against Argentina. So, by far between Chile, Argentina, and Ecuador, Argentina has the easiest schedule left. They play Venezuela, Peru, and Ecuador for their last 3 games. Uruguay they play soon. Messi will not be there against Uruguay, who is currently sitting in 3rd place, tied with Chile, just beating them by goal differential. So that'll be a hard game. Argentina probably won't win, because Argentina literally has nobody except for Di Maria, but he can't handle a team on his own like Messi can. But against, Venezuela is in dead last right now, so they should beat them. Peru is not far away from Venezuela. Ecuador could pose a little bit of a threat, but Messi will be back that game, so he'll probably come back and score 2 goals.
So in your expert soccer person on the show here, prediction, will Argentina make it to the World Cup?
It really all depends on how Chile plays, because Chile plays against Bolivia, Ecuador, and Brazil.
They still lost against Argentina, but they lost 1-0. And to my knowledge, they were supposed to lose by 3 or 4 goals.
They were supposed to lose by a little more, but who knows? Ecuador, like I said, could pose an issue for almost anybody. For some reason, they're that team that is always close to the bottom, but for some reason, teams can't shake, And then they play Brazil in their last game. So Chile they got their work cut out for them for sure. But Argentina missing Messi, that's going to be an issue. They're probably only going to get, I'd say, 1 point without Messi. They're probably going to tie 1 game, and that's about all they're going to do.
Wow. It shocks me because people don't realize how big this is. But in comparison, this would be the equivalent of, I'll say, Kyrie Irving from the Cavs or LeBron James from the Cavs being suspended for 2 games in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's a big deal when
Yeah.
these guys can't play. And Messi's, of course, not just a leader, but he's an outstanding player. And I think he's getting pretty harsh treatment.
I think he is too. He's getting hit hard. I don't know why they gave him such a big suspension, but the fact that they're in 5th place right now and they're probably only going to get 1 more point without Messi, and then they come to that last game against Ecuador, Messi will be back for that game, so they'll probably get 3 points in that game. But at most, you're looking at 4 points in the next 4. That's not going to be enough.
It's not.
Argentina may not make the World Cup.
I don't think they will.
That's so weird to say because like all the teams that have great players like Portugal with Ronaldo, they'll make the World Cup because they have Ronaldo. If Argentina has Messi for these next 4 games, I have no problem saying that they're going to make the World Cup. But Angel Di Maria cannot do as much as Messi does. That's the issue. Messi sets up Di Maria half the time. Argentina's probably not going to make it. We both agree on that. So let's take a quick pit stop and talk to Jimmy about some NASCAR.
Perfect. At the Pacson pit stop this week, we have yesterday they played at Martinsville. It's a very short track, oval, Cam. They go really fast in a short motion. It's different from all the rest of the tracks.
Do they still turn left?
They always turn left.
So then it's not different.
Winner of yesterday was Brad Keselowski. He led 116 laps, and Kyle Busch got second after leading 274 laps.
I like Keselowski.
Everyone likes Keselowski around here. He's from Michigan. He's a Michigan boy. His wife is smoking. There's nothing wrong with Keselowski. And he drives that number 2 Ford Fusion car. In second place was Kyle Busch. Third place was Chase Elliott. Fourth place was Joey Logano. Fifth place was Austin Dillon. And again, we've talked about on the show the past couple weeks the surprise of Jimmy Johnson. He led no laps yesterday and ended up in 15th place. This guy who's supposed to be up for his big-time championship to be the best NASCAR driver ever, not going great so far. Other notable people was Kevin Harvick ended up in 20th, Danica Patrick ended up in 23rd, and Jamie McMurray ended up in 38th. He had a terrible race yesterday, and Kurt Busch ended up in 37th. We're going to go to next week for the Monster Energy NASCAR Series, where defending champion Kyle Busch, they will be racing in Fort Worth, Texas next Sunday. It's a 1.5 miles. It's a little bit longer, so it's different from the short track, but it's not as big as some of the big ones.
Are they still turning left?
They're always turning left. And that was your Pacson pit stop this week.
Ooh, that was speedy. Very, very speedy.
I try to make it quick.
Just like the cars.
Just like the cars.
All right. Another American pastime that everyone loves here other than NASCAR. Baseball.
I am so ready for this.
Dude, opening day, best time of the year. Just so much great stuff going on right now. I know I watched baseball yesterday. Did you watch baseball yesterday?
Yes, I did. I got to catch the Chicago-St. Louis game. And one thing that I think is going to be different than most is that it's going to be a lot of talent in the beginning stages of the games that I don't think we've seen in years past. But a couple guys looked good. But this is going to be our early show of predictions, what we predict the Detroit Tigers would be. After all, Cameron and I are doing our show right now in Livonia, Michigan, and we go to college in Livonia, Michigan, so we are really big Tigers people, always been Tigers people.
Eat 'em up, Tigers.
It's going to be a very interesting year this year, and then we're going to do a lot of predictions right now in baseball. Can't tell you how excited we are to start baseball. Opening day is Friday for the Detroit Tigers. They play Boston. And they're against Michael Fulmer is going to be the pitcher. What do you think about that?
I like Fulmer. I like him a lot. You and I did a different podcast for the broadcast club at Schoolcraft, and we talked about people that we need to keep, people that we need to get rid of, develop, all that stuff. And I said Fulmer is just one of those that you need to keep. He's developing. He's going to develop on his own. He's doing great. So I love it. I love him being here in Detroit. If he was anywhere else, I would absolutely hate it.
I think he has the potential to do a lot of great things here. I think he will be a very, very good pitcher. I hope they don't ruin him. I say that because, the Tigers have a history of ruining pitchers or just getting rid of them.
Yeah, and hopefully this is the Verlander, the person that they don't get rid of.
Right, it would be good.
Which is like the only great pitcher that they really didn't get rid of or that didn't get injured on his own or whatever, you know?
Right. We're going to look at some local guys right now. Anthony Fennick, who's the Tigers beat writer for the Free Press, in his column, he expects the Tigers to not make the playoffs. Bob Ojanowski on the Det News and John Neal both agreed they're not going to make the playoffs. Give me your quick synopsis on the Tigers this year. Where do you think they're going to end up at the end of the year? Give me the record at the end of the year.
If they stay healthy, I think they will be a game under the Indians for the Central, but I think they will grab that wild card. I'm saying a solid 96 wins.
Jesus, Cam.
96 wins.
So you're expecting by that prediction for Cleveland to be very good.
Yeah, I'm expecting them to have like 98. They even said there was a talk. Terry Francona was saying that the team that they have to go after all the time is the Tigers.
Right.
They know how good the Tigers are, and like I said, if they stay healthy, if they have injuries like they did last year, I'm gonna say they fall to like 80 wins. But
so your record right now is 96
Mhm.
wins. Okay. I expect these Tigers to not do good like a lot of these people. The record they're going to end up with is 84 and 78, in my opinion. They will end up in second or third in the AL Central. They will not go to a wild card game. They will miss the playoffs. And there will be some positives that I can guarantee. I guarantee that there will be good starting pitching, but as usual, this bullpen does not look like it's going to do great. This bullpen will fail under pressure, and there will be a lot of games this year. I'm going to give a rust estimate of 15 out of 162, where we will be leading, and the bullpen will lose it for us.
oh, you're only saying 15?
I would expect that to be 15, where we're up by 2 or 3 runs, and it's the 8th or 9th inning. And all you got to do is put a guy in there and just save the game for us.
I think you have more faith in the bullpen than I do, because I wouldn't give them 15. I'd give them 20 to 25.
When you think about it, 15's a lot of games.
It is a lot of games,
to
but
just throw away.
that's how bad this bullpen is, though.
Oh, they're terrible.
The one thing that I do like about this bullpen, though, is, and I've mentioned it, I like Anibal Sanchez being in the bullpen. I think he's a good pitcher to throw out for 1-2 innings. That'll give you 2 solid innings of just hard work, but he can't go more than that. 3 is a stretch for him at this point.
Well, I guess that's... If Sanchez is your best bullpen guy right now,
That's an issue.
It's an issue.
Right.
I mean, you look at their bullpen right now. They have Francisco Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
They have Wilson, Rondon, Green, Wilson again, Kyle Ryan, and Will Sanchez. And I don't...
I'm not saying that Anibal's the best in the bullpen, but I like him being in addition to the bullpen instead of being a starting pitcher.
I like that as well. On MLB.com right now, I have the depth chart right now for the Tigers, and it looks like they're predicting that everything's pretty normal. Starting catcher will be James McCann, first base Miguel Cabrera, Kinzer at second, shortstop Iglesias, third base Castellanos, and left field Justin Upton. But for the other two, which is center field and right field, JD Martinez is on a 10-day DL right now.
Yep.
With a right foot sprain.
It's looking like Jacoby Jones is going to get the center field start.
Well, your pick is either Jacoby Jones, Tyler Collins, or Andrew Romine. And
What happened to Mikey?
oh, Mike, he's also here.
Yeah.
Mike
Matuk?
Matuk, yes. I'm thinking that's going to be Collins and Jones for a while, but Collins is going to have to play right field.
Yeah,
So-
I like Jacoby Jones though. I think he's a decent player.
He played excellent,
Yeah.
in my opinion, last year.
You're pulling up all these articles. I got an article too to pull up.
Okay.
Your boy Jason Stark from ESPN. He wrote a story about why each team will not get to the World Series.
Okay.
And for the Tigers, he said that it was the bullpen. The bullpen is not strong enough. He said while they do have great starting pitching, like we have said, the bullpen's just not strong.
Right. And that's one of my issues, but the two issues that I have with this team not making the playoffs is the bullpen and is that we're not going to get enough runs. I don't think our offense is going to be that great. And yes, we have Cabrera, yes, we have Victor, yes, we have JD, and yes, we have some good hitters, but our offense isn't as great as it should be, in my opinion. You look shocked at me.
Well, I mean, you're going based off last year, right?
I'm going, yes. What else am I supposed to go
I know,
off
but
of?
last year, how many injuries were there, though? That's the issue. We don't know how well this offense can gel together with a healthy season. JD keeps getting hurt, which is unfortunate. I know it's not his fault. We can't blame him for that. He keeps getting hurt. There are instances where Miguel goes into a slump and you need somebody else to pull that out. Well, it just so happens that when Miguel goes into the slump, JD's out with an injury. So who else is going to pick up the slack, you know? JD is that other power hitter. Victor has his moments, but he's starting to get up there in age. You and I both know that. Castellanos can. He's a good hitter. He's developing. He's worked on his swing in the offseason. He worked on it last offseason, and he played pretty good until he got injured. This is a team that has bats that can come alive as long as they stay healthy. That's the biggest issue is them staying healthy, really. And we didn't get to see that last year. We see that this year. The sky's the limit for this team, in my opinion.
Well, correct, but unfortunately, I'm going to take a little older person take on this.
Ooh.
We're the second most paid team.
Yes, we are.
We're over $200 million in paying these guys.
Which is too much.
I don't care about that. The fact is they need to perform to the excellence that we are paying them to.
Right.
And, you know, I said I was going to take an older person take on this. I expect Cabrera to get so much better. We give him this 10-year contract. I think I heard in a rough estimate he's making $49,000 to $50,000 every pitch. That's more than anybody in this room makes in a year right now.
Oh, buddy. Well, we're college students.
But think about that. That's more than some people make in a year.
Yeah.
So I expect you to be almost damn perfect. And for him to be great isn't good enough anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very I feel bad for saying that, but I expect him to be the best hitter in baseball based on money and based on the positions we put him in.
Are you expecting like 50 home runs?
I'm expecting 40 home runs.
40 home runs?
40 home runs.
You think that's a fair number? He gets 40 home runs.
175 RBIs.
Okay.
That's what the city of Detroit deserves
right.
based on the money that they're paying.
Right.
Also, we have to expect that because the fear of injury.
See, and
and Victor's not going to give it to you this year.
Yes, he will not. That's the thing that I don't expect 40 from him. I think if he gets like 30, that's good as long as he keeps the RBIs high. I like your prediction with the RBIs. I agree with that. It's if he doesn't have at least 150 RBIs, it's not good enough. It will not cut it.
No, it's not.
That's where he's in that position. He's that guy who has people on base for him. That's what the 1 and 2 spots are supposed to be. 1, 2, and 3. He's batting in fourth, right? Or is he third?
He's third.
Is he third?
He's going to be third, and Victor's going to be fourth. That's how they're doing that.
Oh.
That's how they've always done it.
Yeah, I know, but I don't know.
You've never liked that?
I don't know. I think he would benefit maybe in fourth.
Then where would you put Victor?
Third. But as soon as JD gets back, like, what are you going to do? Because I think for some reason, it's weird. I think if you put Victor in fourth, it's meh. And I understand you want to get Cabrera up there in the first inning. I get that. But what are you going to do when JD gets there? Are you going to put JD at third and Cabrera at fourth, or JD at fourth? And I know Victor's definitely going to move, and I think JD should be up where Victor is maybe and put Victor back. Do you agree with that?
I really don't think it matters as long
it
as
doesn't,
Cabrera's third,
right.
Victor's fourth, and JD's fifth.
Okay.
So I think you need to put it in that order. I get what you're saying.
Right.
But I don't think it matters that much.
Right, and see, that's like...
it's not going to change.
You and I both talk about it all the time. We love baseball, and we probably think a little too much about it. I know hitting orders probably don't really matter to a lot of people, but it does actually make a difference when you're in the game where you hit.
Right.
So, I don't know. I'm indifferent about it. Osmus is going to do what he wants. Let him do him, but it's going to be an interesting year. They just need to stay healthy. And with JD already being hurt, it's not the best start.
No, and I don't like to expect disappointment, but they didn't do enough in the offseason. In my opinion, they were supposed to go get a couple guys, and they didn't.
And they got rid of a good young center fielder.
They really should not have.
No, they really shouldn't have. And I got when that happened, I kind of got looked at like I was crazy when I said that's a terrible call. Not by you, but just by people in general.
I agreed with you. I don't think it's as big of a deal as you think, but there's no reason you give away a center fielder who had an amazing average last year.
Yep.
Yes, he was injured, so he didn't play the whole year. But he definitely will do amazing in LA.
So when he got back, what was his? He had like a 340 batting average. I don't know how many.
I'll look it up right now.
I know he got on base a lot, and he's a good runner too. He's fast, and that's what you needed in that outfield. Jacoby Jones is fast. I do like him in center field. I like him as a defensive standpoint. I think if his bat comes alive a little more, he would be a great pickup.
In 2016, Cameron Maybin had 4 home runs, 110 hits, 65 runs, 43 runs batted in, 15 stolen bases, and he ended the year with a batting average of 315 and an on-base percentage of 383 according to baseballreference.com.
Okay. So maybe I just remember he was batting 340 at one point, which is I mean,
No, he was.
That's a great average to have, you know.
Ending the year on 315 is nothing to be ashamed of.
No, that's not.
Opinion.
No, if you end the year over 300, that's good.
Right. So I think that's a good thing. And we're going to go into I'm going to say our 3 big predictions, and that's going to be MVP, Cy Young,
World Series.
World Series. Yes, thank you. We're
Got
going to start with World Series champion. Give me the World Series game and give me who do you think the champion will be.
I think for the AL side, it's going to be the Red Sox. Their starting rotation is just stellar. It's out of this world. It's amazing. And then for the NL, I don't know why, but I'm feeling the Dodgers. There's something about the Dodgers that's just bringing this aura that's like a winning experience, and I don't know why it is for me, but I like the Dodgers this year. But I think that this is going to be the Red Sox year. That bullpen, or not that bullpen, the starting rotation is just outrageous. It's just a great starting rotation, and 2 of them were from Detroit.
Yes, they were.
Getting rid of those great pitchers. Like oh, jeez.
We do that a lot.
We do that way too much. Rick Porcello, David Price. Oh, my goodness. And now they got Chris Sale.
Right.
Oh. Those are 3 Cy Young contenders right there. All on the same team.
Yeah. Is your Cy Young contender on the Red Sox?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Actually, yes.
Who would that be?
I just have a feeling that Chris Sale is going to like being with the Red Sox more than the White Sox. I think he's going to have a better experience there, and when you have a better experience with a team, you usually play better. So I think this is the year that he breaks through and gets that Cy Young. I don't think he's going to be cutting up jerseys because he doesn't like them. He's a great pitcher. He's kind of a diva a little bit, and I think the Red Sox are a good organization to kind of disperse that. I think he'll get it this year.
Okay, so your World Series champion is Boston, and you think that Cy Young is going to be Chris Sale. So I'll do both real quick. World Series, I think it's going to be the Cleveland Indians and the St. Louis Cardinals. The Cardinals look great every single year, whether they make the playoffs or how far they go. With Yachty back there, Yachty or Molina.
I love Yachty.
And he's going to be there for 3 years, and he's just an amazing leader on the team. Also, St. Louis is a run team. As I say by that is before you know it, they could win 8-9 games in a row. They kind
of sneak up.
Yeah, they always have a powerhouse offense, and oddly enough, I do think they could beat Chicago for the division.
I could see that.
I do think Chicago is really good, and I'm not saying Chicago will lose the division based on them being bad. I just think St. Louis is going to do amazing. But I think it's going to be Cleveland will win the World Series against St. Louis. I've said this for months now that the Indians are going to win the World Series.
You have, and you're not falling back on that.
No, I'm not going to fall back on it at all. I think with the addition of Encarnacion,
that's just a good sign.
They're just a strong team, and they pitch great, and they bat great, and they don't do a lot of things wrong.
Right.
I think the Indians will win 100 games this year.
That's fair.
I think this battle for the Tigers of who's going to win the division, there is no battle this year. I think the Indians will beat the Tigers by over 10 games.
Over 10?
Yeah, over 10. I have them winning 84, the Tigers.
Right.
Let's say the Tigers win 84, at most 87. I guarantee you Cleveland will win 97 plus.
Okay. I mean, I'm fair with that. I get what you're saying with the Indians. I just think you're putting the Tigers at 10 games behind.
Yes.
Do you think there's going to be anybody above the Tigers?
No. I think Kansas City's not going to do that great this year.
No.
Chicago always seems to fall. And the Twins are going to be lucky if they break 75 games.
Do we have to talk about the Twins, really?
No, my only point is the Tigers will end up in second.
Okay.
And I think they'll be
10 games
they'll
back.
be closer to Kansas City or Chicago than they will be to the Indians. The Indians are going to be an amazing team this year. That's what I've been trying to say.
Yeah, no, I get it.
They may not win the World Series, even though I'm calling it, but I know they'll win the AL Central.
Okay. Fair enough.
And if they flop, I'll just look stupid like usual. But the fact is I'm calling the Indians to win the World Series. Cy Young contender is Yu Darvish from the Texas Rangers.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Tommy John surgery worries you, and it worries a lot of baseball people, but I think he's going to be fine.
He looked pretty
He
good
missed
during the
all
World
of
Baseball Classic.
he missed all of the 2015 season following a Tommy John surgery, but this guy just gets so many strikeouts. And when the ball's not being hit to your fielders, you don't got to worry about errors. You don't got to worry about unlucky bounces. You don't have to worry about fast guys getting to first base. I think Yu Darvish is going to win the Cy Young. I think he's going to win 15-plus games as a starting pitcher. I just think he's an unbelievable pitcher. I think Chris Sale will come in second. I think he's going to be a strong second. But give me another second-place Cy Young guy.
So, well, let's go to the NL Cy Young.
Okay, we'll go to NL.
So, my boy, Bumgardner.
You do like
I
Madison
love Bumgardner. And the fact that he had 2 home runs yesterday.
Bumgarner.
The dude is a monster. He's
is.
like the definition of a moose. Like, just somebody who's just a big presence, gets the job done.
Yes.
That's who he is. And they were, just the fact that he put the Giants in a good position. He wasn't playing that great with his pitching. He wasn't doing that well. He did decent, but 2 home runs as a pitcher. And let me tell you this, they weren't short home runs either. The first one was 410, and the second one was 404. The dude's got power. The dude's a beast, and he's got a good pitching arm too. So that's my NL Cy Young.
Okay. My NL Cy Young pick is Jake Arrieta from Chicago.
Oh.
He did. He's done unbelievable the past couple seasons, and his ERA has been around 3.10 It's been 3.10 for the last 2 years.
It's impressive.
He's gonna do really good for Chicago this year.
Yeah.
I think he's gonna come back and do really well. So my NL is Jake Arrieta. Give me your MVP pick for AL and NL.
I'm gonna go to the NL first.
Okay,
I think, like I said, the Dodgers just have this winning aura about them, and Corey Seager being this young dude, I think he's gonna have another. Well, he had a great season last year, but I think he's gonna have another great season and make that push for MVP talk. And I really hope he gets it. He's starting to be one of my favorite players. And then going up to the AL, I don't know how you can go wrong with saying that Mike Trout will win it again. He's a big workhorse. He does amazing in the outfield. He's crazy good when he steps up to the plate. I'm sure any pitcher looks at him and just kind of like, oh, geez, how can I throw this to him and possibly get him out without him getting on base or going yard on me? So I got Mike Trout for the AL, Corey Seager for the NL.
All right, I disagree with you with both.
No, fair enough.
I don't like all this Mike Trout talk. Yes, he's unbelievable. Yes, he's amazing. He still plays for the Angels.
Well, it's not his fault.
No, and he does very good, but he's slipping. Every year he's slipping a little bit, and then one year he's just going to crack, in my opinion. It may be this year. It may be next year. No, I think he's going to drop under 300 average. I don't think he's going to do great because of how good he's been for a while. But my AL MVP is going to be Jose Altuve, second baseman for the Houston Astros. Last season, he had 24 home runs. He had 216 hits. He had 108 runs, 96 RBIs, 30 stolen bases. And he had an on-base percentage of just shy of 400 with 396 and a batting average of 338. Cameron, he's an unbelievable second baseman. A ball can't get past him most of the time, and he's the best hitter on the team, and I guarantee that he's going to get over 20 home runs again this year, and he's a potential MVP candidate. It's unreal how many people talk about Mike Trout and nobody people talk about Jose Altuve. Why don't people talk about Jose Altuve?
Because it's the Astros. And Mike Trout has already made a big name for himself, and the Angels is a more well-known organization than Houston is. I'm not saying that you're wrong with Altuve. I like that choice. Altuve is a great player, but that's literally the reason why. The Rangers overshadow Houston when it comes to Texas baseball.
Okay, and then for my NL MVP, I think Bryce Harper's going to come back this year. I think Harper's going to come back, put up some good numbers, play amazing outfield, help Washington be a great team. I have no problem saying that Bryce Harper will win the NL MVP.
I don't have a problem with that either.
Okay, well, that was more of our serious conversation. Now we're going to go into some wacky baseball predictions. And what I mean by wacky is some of these, they're just straight out of left field, but could happen if you have a good stance. I'll go first because I think Cameron's going to be amazed. I just gave you my serious NL MVP. I'm going to give you my wacky NL MVP. ESPN.com did a prediction for MVPs, and 35, we'll say experts, voted. Nobody picked this guy for MVP. Madison Bumgarner will be the NL MVP by the end of the year. Okay, I think the guy will have 10 home runs.
He's not that far off already.
The fact is he's going to have 10-plus home runs. I think the guy's going to have 30-plus RBIs. I think the guy's going to have an ERA of under 3.5. And I think the guy's going to have over 15 wins as a pitcher. And when you do that as an NL pitcher where you're just as good of a hitter as a pitcher, you're one of the best.
Yeah,
I think Madison Bumgarner will be the NL MVP as my first out of 3 wacky baseball predictions.
My wacky baseball prediction, Encarnacion will flop.
That is really wacky because nobody expects him to do that.
Nobody expects that, but it's a lot harder to move cities than people realize. I don't think he's going to do as amazing
with Cleveland as he did with Toronto.
Something's saying to me that it's going to take him more time than people want to figure it out. Is that fair?
No, I don't think that's fair. I think he's going to do amazing.
Okay.
I've said it before. I think Encarnacion's going to do great. What do you mean by flop? Like, how low numbers do you think he's going to get?
I'm not saying he's going to absolutely flop. I'm not saying he's going to have an outrageously terrible season, but I think it's going to take him a while to figure it out. I think there's something about switching teams that really can mess with some players, and I don't know. I'm just thinking like midway through the season is when he's actually going to figure it out and turn it on. I think he's going to start off kind of strong and then just have this big slump.
Okay. My second prediction is I'm going to say it's not the most shocking. The last one's going to be the most shocking.
All right.
But this one's kind of up there. I think the Arizona Diamondbacks will be the NL West champions.
Over the Giants and the Dodgers?
Over the Giants and the Dodgers.
Okay.
They have Zach Greinke, they have Paul Goldschmidt, they have Jake Lamb, and they have Shelby Miller. Those are all 4 amazing guys.
Bumgarner went yard twice on Greinke.
Okay, it's the first game.
Well,
162
still.
games. What do you mean? I just said he was going to be the MVP, so of course he's going to hit well.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Okay, a lot of people look down at the Diamondbacks, and there's a good reason for it because they're not very good.
And their jerseys are ugly.
Their jerseys are pretty ugly, but they have one World Series championship.
Oh,
and
when was that?
2001.
Oh, okay.
They haven't been to the playoffs for a little while. It's been 8 years to be exact. This is a very wacky prediction because I just think Goldschmidt does very well, and I think some of these other guys are going to hit a lot better. For example, I think David Peralta and A.J. Pollock, who are 2 outfielders for Arizona, are going to hit well. They're rising up there, and they haven't been good for the past couple of years. But I think the Diamondbacks are really going to push through, and by the look on your face, I just gave you just nonsense.
No, it's not complete nonsense. You backed it up with some good stuff. It's just Diamondbacks, they're not a winning organization. There's something about them that just, like, I don't know how to explain them. Like, you want them to be good because of who they always get good talent, but for some reason they just can't throw it together. I don't know what it is. Like, they seem to always have, like, a talented player or two on the team that should make a big difference, but it's like the team where people die. Kinda.
It is the team where people die.
I mean, is that fair?
It's a very accurate analogy. I just think Greinke is going to do very well this year. Yes, he's going to do great in this first
I think
game,
he'll do good.
But I think they have some couple other guys. So my second wacky prediction is the Diamondbacks will beat the Giants and the Dodgers and be the NL West champions.
Okay. My next wacky prediction is the Pirates are going to be better than people think.
No, they're not.
I think they are.
Okay, let me tell you this thing for real quick.
Tell me this thing real quick.
I have an aunt and uncle who live in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And
they don't even root for him?
Hold on. That's what I'm saying. Of course they root for him. The whole city roots for Pittsburgh. But he says it so many times that it's becoming true that I've got to see Pittsburgh for the past couple of years. There's 2 reasons why you're wrong. Okay. One, Pittsburgh always fails in baseball, okay? They got the Penguins, they got the Steelers. They really don't need to worry about their third option, okay? The Pirates always seem to just give you that little bit of hope. They're going to be in first place sometime this year. I guarantee it.
At some point they're
going to be at first place. They're going to be like, yeah, they're playing good.
It'll be at the beginning of the season when they're 7-0.
And then they will fail like they always do. The Pirates will end up in third or fourth place.
That's why this is a wacky prediction.
Okay,
the thing that sucks about the Pirates, though, is they do have the Cardinals and the Cubs to worry about.
Second reason they're going to be bad, I just want to get this out real quick. There's been so much dysfunction with Andrew McCutchen. I think he's going to do worse than usual this year. They've been talking about trading him for 6 months now.
I understand that, and that does bring some issue, but for most players that are great players in the MLB, and you can back me up on this because you'll think this is true, when you do throw something like that in their face, like, hey, you could be traded at any moment, and he likes being in Pittsburgh. Fair enough?
Fair.
He likes being in Pittsburgh. When people like where they are when it comes to baseball, and they have the heart to continue playing hard like he does, they come out and they just blow the doors open.
I think that's not all the time. I'd say it's more than half.
More than half?
I'd say
It's about 75%.
It's a hard statistic to judge.
It is a hard statistic. What you said.
Hard statistic to judge. No, I get what you're saying. I
Yes.
think it's just way out of the blue. They got the Nationals to worry about. They got the Cubs to worry about. And quite frankly, they have the whole NL to worry
The
about.
Cardinals.
No, they have the Cubs too.
No, you
They play
said
the
Nationals.
Oh, yes, thank
Yeah.
you. They have the Thank you.
Yeah,
My bad.
I got you.
But when you have to go up against St. Louis,
Well, yeah, that's what I was saying. St. Louis and
Chicago.
Chicago, those are two great teams, but I feel like they're going to be that team that's sitting there in third. They're going to come in third. I'm not going to dispute that at all. They're going to come in third for the Central. It's going to be the Cubs and the Cardinals.
They're going to do better.
They're going to do better than people realize.
Just as crappy as crap is not better.
They're going to give the Cubs and Cardinals a run for their money every time they play. That's what I'm saying.
They're going to lose by
and they're
5
gonna be,
instead of 10?
They're going to be right there.
Your wacky
They're
prediction
gonna be
is,
right
is
there.
a stupid
They're
prediction.
going to be right there. Well, you're saying that the Diamondbacks are going to win.
You could have called that stupid, but you didn't.
Well, because I'm trying to be respectful.
Well, I'm only as respectful as it goes.
Okay, the Diamondbacks are a place where people die. You just said that. If
I
they're a
think-
place where people die, then Greinke is probably going to die. He's not going to have as good of a
one
season as what you're
season.
thinking.
Give
And
one
then
season
get-
to him.
Give one season to him?
We've given the Pirates so many seasons.
If we give him one season, he's going to be in the graveyard next thing you know.
Okay, well, we're done arguing about that. All right, my third prediction, and this is one I feel very strongly about, probably my most wacky based on organization.
And I'm supposed to think this one's crazy, right?
No, I think you're going to agree with it,
Oh.
is the worst part because we're very similar. But other people in this city will go, yeah, I agree with you. But the fact is this organization won't do it. Osmus is out before All-Star. This guy has not been a good manager. We had Jim Leland. People complained about him because he ate during press conferences.
Who
and he
cares?
didn't win the World Series. But the fact was, he was a good manager. This Osmus guy, I can tell you right now, he does a lot of wacky things, clearly. He doesn't know how to manage the bullpen. He doesn't put guys in the right spot. Why is Jared Saltalamacchia playing first base, Brad? He doesn't know. Brad doesn't know. And Brad has just been a terrible manager, in my opinion. He will not make it to All-Star break. And my wacky prediction is that the Tigers will be 15 games back from first place. There will be far under 500. And Brad gets fired because Avila is just like, you know what? Get the hell out of my city. You did nothing right here. You weren't supposed to be here. And we finally go get an older manager, which everyone said we were supposed to get. But instead we got this 45-year-old used-to-be catcher who did not do what he was supposed to do here in Detroit.
I don't think they're going to fire him midway through the season. I agree that I don't think he should be here anymore, just based off the fact that we could probably manage the team better,
Guaranteed.
in my opinion.
Guaranteed.
So
I could manage a baseball team pretty
just,
decently, in my opinion. I could get him to the playoffs.
I just don't think the Tigers,
Especially this team.
I just don't think the
First
organization
place.
is going to.
World Series. I could manage this team.
All right. You're doing too much now. You're just a high school second baseman. Like.
No, we're talking about my managerial skills, which I have none.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Continue
saying.
your
So you're
argument.
on the same level as Osmus
Continue.
almost. They're not going to fire him midway through the season because that's just what the Tigers organization is. They don't do that to guys. They'll give him the whole season and then they'll be like, look, like we really should have fired you like 162 games ago, but we didn't. So, yeah, get out. And then they'll find somebody new. But you know what would be sweet?
Is this your third prediction?
No, this is not my third prediction, but you know what would be sweet?
What would be sweet?
Obviously, Leland isn't done coaching if he's going to be out there coaching Team USA for the World Baseball Classic. I'm not saying that they're going to bring him back, but wouldn't that be awesome? Imagine if they did, though. If they did, I feel like this team would be in such a great position because there are still players that loved playing for him when he was
awesome.
there.
Hey, Cameron, I bought you a new car. It's a unicorn. That's how awesome that thing was you just said.
I wouldn't mind a unicorn. Did you really get me one?
No, I didn't get you.
That's so rude, dude. You know?
What's your third wacky prediction?
No, you know what, dude? I'm stuck on that unicorn car. I really wanted that.
How would
The
it- how
Blue
would
Jays
it-
are going to contend really, really well against the Red Sox. And that's not really out there or crazy, but I think that they're going to beat them in the AL playoffs. I think the Blue Jays are going to come and beat the Red Sox. As much as I want the Red Sox to go to the World
But
Series.
they lost two outfielders that were really key to them. And
Yeah.
their pitching is going to decline.
Mhm.
But you still think they're going to do better.
That's why it's wacky.
Well, no, I'm looking at your evidence.
Yeah.
What's your evidence behind it?
My evidence
Do
behind
you
it
think,
is.
Jose is just going to do amazing as usual,
Yeah.
which is fine?
Yeah. I think
Okay.
he's going to do better than he did last year. I feel like last year was a little bit of a slump year for him, even though he still played great.
Well,
you know?
they got unlucky with Donaldson last year.
Yes,
at the
they did
beginning
get
of the year.
unlucky.
So I get your point. If Donaldson and
It's
Bautista,
another situation where if they stay healthy, they're going to be good. You know,
Okay.
there's so many teams like that this year. You got the Tigers, you got the Jays. The Red Sox haven't struggled with health, but they have a couple players who have struggled with health in the past. Indians had health problems last year too, but they still played amazing.
Okay, so my final baseball question for you is who's going to be the Tiger by the end of the year that everyone goes, that's my Tiger, he's the one who stepped up. Not necessarily the best player, but everyone's going, we love this guy. Who's going to be our Tiger this year in Detroit?
Who would you say was the Tiger last year?
The Tiger last year was Michael Fulmer.
I think he's going to be the Tiger this year too.
Okay, that's fair. Unfortunately, I agree with Michael Fulmer. I think he's going to be the Tiger this year. I think he's going to be an amazing pitcher. And before we end, I have to ask every episode to see your answer. Will the Lions draft Jabril Peppers in the first round?
God, no.
Okay.
No.
Your answer hasn't changed yet.
No, it's
but
not going to change.
It will change in the next couple weeks. Cameron's a Michigan boy, so
I am a Michigan boy, but Jabril Peppers is not as good.
I just need to ask you one question.
All right.
You answered it.
That's the answer.
And you answered no.
Okay.
So my real quick spiel is I think you're going to mess up. And like the next week or the following weeks or right before the draft, you're going to go, you know what, I think we should draft Jabril Peppers. That's why I've asked you. You've answered no the last 2 weeks.
I'm not going to
so.
say it. I'm not going to say it.
Okay,
I don't think that they should.
Jabril Peppers.
Write it down. Write it down. Go ahead.
Hold on. I'm stuck on Peppers. No. Got it. Okay.
You just put no. That's all you. All right. I think we covered all the bases of this episode. Great baseball talk. Next time we'll talk more about baseball, and we got a little bit of the NFL draft that we'll throw at you. Have a great day, everybody.